This is like my fifth take. I drank all my coffee trying to do the takes. I got a call today from somebody who's close to my heart, and we were just talking about the process. And he was just saying that the videos are tough. That he likes them, but he feels like they don't have anything to do with him because like how does he even get to the point where he's trying to figure out what he wants for his life? He doesn't know what he wants for his life. He doesn't even really believe he's worth any of those things. Like he's not worth it, and that all these things have happened in life, and it is what it is, and my life was completely different. And look, here's the truth. I am someone who's made a lot of mistakes, tons of them, endless. If you knew me in high school and college, you know that I was kind of just an annoying person in general. And I also was like just a habitual liar, like just constantly lying about any and everything just to seem cool, just to fit in, just to be like everyone else. Because the truth was, I didn't really feel like I was worth anything. Like I always had a dream of playing basketball, but when basketball fell off and I wasn't playing basketball anymore, like that was what defined me growing up. And then I had to make a decision of what I was going to become and what I wanted to be. And honestly, for years, I mean, up until the last like 3 years, I just was like just a floating ball of nothing. And so when I first started running, the voices were in my head. Yo, what are you even here for? Like 11 and a half minutes for a mile? You're garbage. You're trash. You're shit. You're ass. You're nothing. You can't do this. You're not worth it. On those runs, just hurting, chest burning, feeling like I'm going to throw up. What are you doing? What's the point? Why? Who do you think you are? You know who you are. You know what your worth is. Like, I just remember hearing those voices in my head every day when I was lacing up the shoes. You're garbage. You're trash. You're nothing. You can't do it. This is all those mistakes you made before. That's who you are. That's who you are. I heard a quote a while back that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. And you suffer at the beginning, especially because your brain doesn't want you to do it. It's your worst enemy. It's like, you're not ready for this. You can't do it. And it hurt like for the first, I'd say year, like it was just constantly in my head. And a few times I slipped up. Like I almost didn't think there were times I stopped. For a week or two, I just didn't work out. I just was going back to the old version of myself. So I say all that because here's the truth about how you end up kind of seeing yourself as to what you can be. We all have, as my man, the Brain Warrior says, a God spark. We all have the capability of becoming something far beyond anything that we could ever imagine. And the way to get to that, though, is this consistency in the process of getting there, right? Like you just do something over and over and over and over and over again until you get there. At first, you seem like an idiot. You're not very smart with it. You're not very good at it, whether that's running or a job or school or whatever. But if you stay consistent, eventually you can get to a point where you become a specialist. You can become a savant. And so the wild thing about life is that at first you don't know what it is that you want to do. You have no idea at all what you want for life. If you want to stay at your job, if you want to stay married, whatever it is, you can define success however you want to define it. I feel like with Instagram, you see just, Rolls Royces and Ferraris and Lambos and big houses and condos and rings and diamonds and just all these different things. But you can define success however you want. Like when I started, I was like, yo, man, you got to stop drinking so much. Like if people follow me on Instagram, I was doing lick yoga, I was drinking lick while doing yoga. Like this is all in the process of me getting better. But at some point I was like, we got to get the alcohol out. And I just tried to drink only on the weekends. And then that turned into me not drinking for like five or 6 months straight. I didn't drink at all. And then I decided, hey man, we can start drinking again. But I defined success for myself. I defined it as to what I wanted to do. And that's what we get to do in this life. Like, regardless of what everybody says, if the way we do it in America was perfect, then we wouldn't have so many people that are depressed. We wouldn't have so many people who get divorced. We wouldn't have so many people who make the mistakes that they make and ruin their lives and fall apart and all these people in jail and people turning to drugs if we knew what we were doing, if we had everything figured out. So if we don't have everything figured out and this is the only life that you get to live, then you get to define success for yourself. You get to define what you want to do. And that's a beautiful thing. So what you have to do is you have to decide what it is that you want out of life. And you can start with small little goals. I just want to be able to walk a mile. Okay, get there. Then you set another goal for yourself. I want to lose a little bit of weight. Lose a pound. Fine. You want to stop drinking so much. I'm going to have one less drink than I have every day. Maybe you drink a 6-pack every day. I'm just going to drink 5 of the beers to start. Like those are the goals that you get to define. But when you start to define goals for yourself and you start finding out that you are capable of doing it, It helps you. It pushes you. So I'm not saying that you have to become a savant tomorrow, that you're gonna, play the piano or, do art or flip houses or whatever. I'm just saying that if you start with yourself, start with who you are physically and say, I'm gonna do X. I'm gonna shave every day so that I just look clean. I'm gonna wash my clothes every day. I'm gonna take a shower every day. Like, you'd be surprised how it starts to change the way you see yourself. Because you can't become a better version of yourself if you don't see what you can become. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. You're not defined by the mistakes that you made in your past. You define who you are every single day. Man, I thought it was going to be more funny. And now I'm just all passion. I'm all like back into my serious mode. But it's just the truth. Like, this is what I love. It's tough. Like, it's just... I want the best for everybody. But the tough part is that the buck it just stops with you. You get to define the success. You get to define your failures. You get to define what you're going to do with your life. And it's a tough pill to swallow, in all honesty, because I think for me too, like, I wanted someone else to tell me, I was good. I wanted someone else to tell me, everything was going to be okay, or that I had the possibility to do things. But look, in succession, what's the point to life if there's no point to life? Cool thing is you get to define your points. How do you know you've gone far enough if you don't go too far? Maybe you think that you can't not drink a bottle every day. Maybe you leave a little bit in there. Maybe you think that you're not capable of exercising every day or even once a week, so you start by exercising once a week. Life is cool. Life is beautiful. Life is growth, constant, every day. You aren't going to be 100% sure of every single step. And I don't even know what's going to happen in 5 years. But if you work at it and prepare, you might get surprised by what you become. It's another episode of, Learning to Live Unchained with Django. I love you guys. I believe in you. Just one step at a time. Be great.